Hello and welcome to the 22nd episode, and welcome back to Skåne. Today we are going to open the LEJ, Landskrona Engelholms Railway, and welcome back to the series, by the way. It was a very long time since the last episode. And this railway will connect the tiny city of Ängelholm with approximately 1,500 inhabitants to the rail network. So let's unpause. We are starting in Landskrona's harbour by the Öresund, and we are aboard a goods train called Ängelholm. So let's unpause. And we are not going anywhere because we are waiting for a red light. So Landskrona, well, first of all, this is the second recording of this episode, so I'm actually doing it the opposite way, because the first episode was simply totally broken by the sound of the game, as I had not fixed that. So as we are leaving the train station and slowly climbing up to the city, we are about to head through Landskrona station in a few seconds, and I think we are going to meet another train there, if it's still there. We have a commercial there on the rooftop for flying, which is a little bit an unusual thing in 1876. So I'm trying to do this backwards, so I actually have all the listing of what I'm supposed to say in the other direction. So we'll see what happens. So we are passing another train, which, if I remember correctly, is the Rönneberga, which is the passenger train also on its way to Ängelholm. So this railway was opened in 1876, or the first piece of it actually from Ängelholm to Åstorp was opened in 1875, the rest in 1876. So it was Landskrona that was behind the building of this railway. It was to increase their hinterland and cut Helsingborg off theirs. That was discussed in the previous episode on the HHGA. And the building of the HHGA, the Helsingborg Railway, which also opened in 1875 at early in the year, spoiled most of that plan though. So we are here reaching Säby, and when we are approaching Säby station, and the Säbyholm railway connection is to the left in front of us. That is a private 2,400 meter freight line with full railway concessions, connecting the sugar mill at Säbyholm to the outside world. So the sugar beets will come in this connection, but much of the sugar was actually transported from the mill on the 820 millimeter horse-operated line to the tiny harbour of Borstahusen. And when the LEJ was closed down, the line between Landskrona and Säby was kept open for the sugar beet transport, and eventually also closed in 1971. And even though the tracks have been removed a year earlier. And we are going up through the forest here, through a decent climb, Rönneberga Hills. There's a station here called Badenskär, which is not added to the line. Should have been passed around here somewhere. And at the top of the climb, you'll find a bridge, because we are passing over the Landskrona and Helsingborg railway and the Rå River to reach Åstorp station. So this is Åstorp station, and the bridge that we just passed was a very popular musical card and motif at the turn of the last century, often with two added trains. They look very added usually, because Photoshop wasn't really a thing in those days. Åstorp has a medieval church. There was never really any village here, just a few scattered houses, as all the land surrounding the railway and the station belonged to 3 different estates, or the church. So no options for that. back at Landskrona station, this connection is really weird because there is no direct link between this railway and the freight station at Landskrona. So all freight trains has to go into the passenger station, turn around, go out on any of the other lines leaving Landskrona station, turn around out on the line, and then get back into the freight station, or get through the entire station area down to the harbour, turn around there, and get into the freight station. So it's most peculiar system. But well, it was apparently working in those days. So this is Bälteberga Estate, Åstorp's parish that we are passing through. And both of those are actually named after the same person, that Belt. A pious man is said to have fought pagans here, and he constructed a medieval fortress that was used as the manor for Bälteberga Estate. The LEJ was one of the railways bought by the Swedish state at the end of the 19th century to create the West Coast Main Line. The line between Ängelholm and Helsingborg is now a part of the freight corridor through Skåne. The line between Helsingborg and Landskrona was closed down piece by piece between 1960 and 1992. And we are about to approach Ekeby station, and where we are now, just to the right there, there used to be something important. Skromberga bricks. And this is where the tiles for the Sydney Opera House were used. The factory was forever closed in 2008, so no possibility to get more of those tiles. Ekeby is a village with a medieval church. Some industries were started after the arrival of the railway. Today, the village is equipped with a radiotechnical museum. And as we leave Ekeby, we start the descent down towards Helsingborg. This area is in reality more forested, as the land slopes slightly away from the sun, so it reduces the farming potentials. And one of the there are two mine shafts in Ekeby, one of them just north of the station and the other one just south of the station. And there was a cable car transporting surplus clay from the coal mine to Skromberga bricks. We are now being joined by future MPJ, Malmö Pilsner, another company that also wanted to benefit from the coal mining, or would share station with the LEJ. And we are meeting the other passenger train, which is Lugude, I believe. And the station is actually called Helsingborgs Gruva, which means mine. And no connection was ever built between the two stations in Helsingborg, the other one being the HHJ station that was called Helsingborg. And after that branch was closed down, the station name was transferred to Helsingborg in 1943. So it got the name Helsingborg after that. And it still is called that. And we are passing over the river, which is Bege River, which looks very deep from this side. And on the right we have a castle, and that is Åstorp, and behind it is the southern ridge. And we have people walking here. It's nice. Walking to work. And this area that we have just passed through is the only larger coal mining area in Sweden. The coal is not of very good quality and it's very shallow, but it was used from time to time during the 19th and 20th centuries. And the Helsingborg area experienced a coal mining boost thanks to railway connections. we see another train going towards Helsingborg. There were at least 6 active coal mines in the area in 1910. And we are approaching Åstorp. And to talk a little bit more about Landskrona Castle that we just saw, this estate is known since at least 1517. The current castle was built between 1633 and 44 by the Danish admiral Wind. And in 1838 it was purchased or exchanged by the Tonnerien family. They exchanged the estate Ösche and 17 barrels of gold to get the castle and the estate. The current appearance of the castle dates from the 1850s. And here at Åstorp we had the HHJ going out. West we have in front of us we have the HHJ going out as well towards Ängelholm, and we can see the future Skåne Småland Railway going out there as well, which is going to be built on to Ljungby and Värnamo and other places in Småland. So the track lane between Ängelholm and Åstorp was reasonably simple, as the steady climb of 30 meters over 15 kilometers and mainly crossing farmland. Construction of the second part of the line was more demanding, 32-meter climb from Billesholt to Ekeby in only 5 kilometers, and the extensive terraforming needed to bridge the raw valley at Åstorp and the 45-meter climb from Säby to Vadenpää station in only 5 kilometers, where the line actually had to make kind of a loop to avoid too steep gradients. And the next stop is Spannarp, and just north of the current village is Spannarp Manor, that has given the village its name. When the railway arrived here in 1875, there was nothing, but a village quickly grew up next to the station. The manor has remained of a castle in the backyard. The origins of that castle seems to have been forgotten, but it has at least been there since the 15th century as a ruin. And this is Spannarp. So as we head north, we could see Ängelholm in the very distant future. No, very distant, far in the distance. Ängelholm became a city in 1516 when the tiny medieval city of Lundertun on the coast was abolished and moved by royal decree. Also the city of Åstorp further north lost its status as city at the same time. Ängelholm is situated on a curve in the Rönne River, causing the city to be surrounded by the river on three sides, roughly 2 kilometers from the coast. Ängelholm's city status was abolished again in 1547, and in 1657 only 18 houses remained. In 1767, Ängelholm got its city privileges back, and a forest was planted between the city and the coast to stop the extensive sand drifting. With the arrival of the railway, small-scale industries started to pop up: brickworks, dairies, and shoemills. The old transportation method of barges down the river to the small, very exposed docks on the coast was soon outcompeted by the railways. So Helsingborg and Landskrona became the ports for Ängelholm. And to the left we can see, well, we have an autosave first. To the left we can see the future line from Helsingborg, the Skåne Halland SHJ, and the depot is there is today a train museum and a railway museum and a railway academy. And looking ahead, we can also see picture Skåne Halland Railway to the north and to the northeast, left in this picture. You can see the future on Klippan's Railway. So, Ängelholm it is. So let's pause and say thank you for following this episode. Thank you for watching. There will be more episodes soon, hopefully, as it turned out that there was one more that had actually been prepared even. Just the text was missing. So until then, have fun. Thank you so much for watching.